Welcome back to my studio. Today I want to talk about electronics, specifically microphones. Specifically this microphone, the CV-12 by Avantone, which is a tube condenser mic. Now I'm going to talk a bit about what exactly that means. So, a condenser mic, first of all, is a microphone that has, here if we remove the pop filter real quick. So in this capsule, this microphone has a condenser, is another name for a variable capacitor. So essentially what you've got going on is there is a diaphragm and a back plate, and the diaphragm is made of a very light material, whereas the back plate is just a solid plate of metal. And this diaphragm, as you talk into it, it's going to move back and forth, and that is going to change the capacitance, because this is a capacitor. So the capacitance of that capacitor changes in relation to the position of the diaphragm. And what that does is this change in capacitance basically is what is creating your analog audio signal from the microphone. So basically, diaphragm moves back and forth. That changes the intensity of the electricity coming out. The intensity of the electricity coming out decides what it sounds like. Now getting to the tube part of the tube condenser mic. So nowadays, most condenser mics use solid state transformers, I believe. But the vacuum tube is an older technology used for basically the same purpose, which is amplifying the electrical signal. So rather than the transformers that we now use, there's a glass tube in here that is going to amplify the electrical signal coming out of the microphone. Because in here it's a very small, very low signal, so it's going to need to be boosted coming out of here into the audio interface, into the computer. And that's what the vacuum tube is doing. But the difference between the vacuum tube and the transformer artistically is the vacuum tube isn't as perfect. It's going to introduce small characteristics into the signal that a lot of people would describe as warmth. It's going to add a sort of warmth to whatever you're recording through it, which is why I really like using it for vocals. The microphone is coming out into this external power supply, and that's necessary because it is a tube condenser. Normally with condenser microphones, what you would need is just a source of 48 volt phantom power, which most like audio interfaces can do, like this button right there. That's my 48 volts on the Focusrite. But the tube in the microphone requires a different sort of power, and therefore it requires this its own power supply. What's neat about this, though, is it also allows you to change the polar pattern of the microphone, and that's because you can basically adjust how much power is going where inside of the capsule. You can go from just cardioid, which is just the front facing diaphragm and plate are active, to a figure 8, in which I believe both the front and back facing are active, but their polarities are the reverse of each other. And then there is omnidirectional, where it's going to be picking up sound from all around, and that's when both the front and back are active and they are in the same polarity. So rather than having the frequencies at the sides destroy each other, they add to each other, giving it a uniform sound all around the microphone. Now let's go ahead and listen to something that I recorded using this microphone.
Was all about the love and where did it go? We don't show enough, I'm telling you though. They know you fucked up, go pick up the phone. Like it's too tough to do it alone. I earn me a dub, not taking it home. I run up a check, not making it known. Don't bother the flex, cause I'm in the zone. Stop looking for me, I'm already gone. Lord, and where did it go? We don't show enough, I'm telling you though. They know you fucked up, go pick up the phone. Like it's too tough to do it alone. I earn me a dub, and taking it home. I run up a check, not making it known. Don't bother the flex, cause I'm in the zone. Stop looking for me, I'm already gone.